I grew up at a time when a female actor had to be focused entirely on her face and how she's looking. Looks, and nothing else.
Bachao, mujhe, whatever the hero's name is. It just doesn't come from within.
The coffee is brought by assistant. Assistant opens the cup. Actor takes sip, hands it back to assistant. What are you? A 3-month-old child?
Welcome to Spill the Tea with me, Sneha. Ratna Pathak Shah Ayesha Jhulka. What wonderful women to be able to sort of celebrate Women's Day with.
Thank you.
I've never done this before, but really, please accept this token, heartfelt token of my appreciation for everything that you've done to just prop and empower us.
Thank you.
We see you, we value you, and thank you for really speaking to me. Like I said, collectively the two of you have seen a large part of the evolution of the Hindi film actress. So today when you go on a set like Happy Family, Conditions Apply, is there a sense of excitement and validation when you're there doing what you do best?
Shall I go first?
Of course.
Yes, 100%. I don't think actresses have had as good a time before this. I speak mainly, say, of my mother, for example. An absolutely wonderful actress who just never ever got a chance to do what she was capable of on film. On stage, she did a lot of it. But so many actresses like her just fell by the wayside. Fortunately for us, we are really getting another, the first time we are getting a chance to break out of the typical molds that female performers have been put into on film and find new ways of telling stories. I think that's very, very special. And I'm very happy I'm around when that's happening. What do you say?
So I was not feeling that I fit into all that, and then came OTT, and then the whole thing changed. It just changes. I feel that when we were there on the set of Happy Family, Conditions Apply, instantly there was a connect, with senior artists like her, Raji, and people like us, like who have been there,
and the younger ones.
And the younger ones were newcomers also.
Yes. Yeah.
So many, and you learn from them as well.
Yeah.
So much, because
So
I
much.
think for us, we are from that generation where we didn't have mobiles, we didn't have computers, all of that, and without that we were there in the industry and we had to learn everything.
Worst of all, we didn't have role models.
Nothing.
I didn't, for example. None of the actresses I saw around me was somebody that I wanted to
That's why I
emulate.
gave you the rose.
Thank you. And that is what now hopefully will change. I find many role models among the younger girls.
Yeah.
I really feel that they are so sharp, they are so much more focused. and
Prepared.
What
they're
have you
prepared.
learned from them?
One, the ability to take risks. I grew up at a time when a female actor had to be focused entirely on her face and how she's looking. Looks, and nothing else mattered. Maybe a little bit of dance would be welcome, but nothing else mattered except the way you looked. And it can be a terrible strain. I found it a terrible strain on myself. I don't think I'm particularly great looking or bad looking. I'm average looking. But I had something else. That's why I was here in this business.
You could
But
act.
It was just not part of the deal. How do you look? That's your only focus. And the way it tells on actors, I've seen that. Actresses do nothing except look at the mirror. Before the shot, no sense of lines, no sense of characterization, look at the mirror. So that seems to have broken with this younger generation. They definitely are not so self-obsessed.
You talked to me the last time we spoke about the long break
Yes.
you took because you felt limited being the typical
Yes,
heroine.
yes.
And you, ma'am, have gone on to talk about how you never fit the mold of the typical heroine.
Yeah.
So then is it these are opposing problems, but at the root, it's both of you pushing back against being labeled and being boxed.
Exactly.
into being the typical. I love this line I heard you say in an interview where you said कि जवानी में बोर हुए अब बुढ़ापे में मजे ले रही हूँ.
बहुत मजे ले रही हूँ. Best way. The whole system is turned upside down. How wonderful.
No,
that gives me a lot of confidence. When I am at her age, probably I'll also enjoy this a lot.
Absolutely. देखो आगे आगे होता है क्या.
Is there then a tinge of regret for not being utilized better sooner?
Of course there is. I mean, I would have liked to do some more challenging work when I was younger on film. I did plenty of that on stage. So मेरा दिल भर गया. किसी ने देखा नहीं वो अलग बात है. मैंने कर लिया. मैंने बहुत सीखा उसमें. So that is fine. Eventually, I don't feel any real regret. I just am so happy that this is possible.
Now, yeah. What about you?
See, for me, I can never say regret because I took very conscious decisions. I came to the industry at a very young age. That time, my mind was just out there because I wanted to work. In that age, when you are just 16, you do not realize or think that मुझे ये काम करना है या वो काम करना है या ऐसे career को आगे ले जाना है. So nothing was there in my mind, and I kept on doing films. So I did so many films. Of course, I was lucky; they were hit. And that time, you needed all this. I mean, I was in that age and stage where I had to, do the dancing and the, romantic films and films like Jo Jeeta Hui Sikandar, Khiladi. Then came Dilal and all these other films which were a little more mature. And then when I kept growing, you obviously, with your experiences realize. And then at that point when I realized that, no, now I don't want to do all this, then I made a conscious decision of stepping back, because the same kind of stuff was coming my way, which I was refusing right, left and center. And still I could not probably give the right signal out that I don't want to do the same stuff. I want to do something which has some meat in it. I want to do something where I can feel that I can perform. And like, she talks about stage. I did a play called Purush. And Vijaya Mehta was my director, and I realized what acting is all about. And all the years that I was working, for those 22 years, I felt I did nothing. And then when I learned that, came my next 7-8 years, which were better. And then I stopped, because then I didn't want to do absolutely the, typical stuff. And I said, better not to do it.
Yeah. When I see this rose, I'm reminded of the scene from Khiladi where Akshay gives you the white rose.
Yeah.
If we were to manifest your second innings, what would it look like for you? And what would it take to see you romance the actors that you made a career romancing? Because they're very much around.
Of course. They deserve to be around. And
Excuse me.
Yeah, they still look so fit, and they're doing well. I always say that I would like Jo Jeeta Hui Sikandar and Khiladi ka sequel to be made with the same cast. And I told Mansoor that.
So
last time when I met him, couple of months back, I told him, so you better start writing the sequel, but we have to be in that. So everybody jumped and said, yeah, we have to.
Yeah. But when I see you living your best life really with Lipstick and Trial by Fire and Unpaused, it's a welcome change. But what is it that has caused this shift in gaze of how we see the women?
How we see women in general? Oh ma, lots of things, of course. One, because we have a much more educated audience today. There are many more educated Indians today than there have ever been before. Don't forget, almost everyone that you meet has at least been to school. Yeah. So you're not talking to completely uninformed people anymore. Audiences are now seeing so many more things. The internet has opened up the world for everyone. So no more can you copy, no more can you steal as easily as we used to do, and no more can you just rehash the same story again and again. Because people want something fresh, something new, and they get it in another source. So they're going to dump you, as they are doing very clearly. The old-fashioned, unthought of kind of rubbish that used to pass off because it had a star in it is not working anymore. So the focus on the script has been a huge game changer and a much needed very late arrival kind of game changer. But chalo, der aaye, durust to aaye. I think that's a big one. The change in the attitude towards the writer has been the big difference, I feel.
Well, your writer, Atish Kapadia, also was with you in Sarabhai versus Sarabhai.
Absolutely.
I'm curious to know, will we see flavors and traces of that in Happy Family, or do we have to wait for a season 3 of Sarabhai?
Well, certainly not Sarabhai. You'll have to wait for season 3 of Sarabhai.
Are you giving us a date?
I wish I could. I wish I could. But look at all of us now, where we are. I mean, try and get dates from Rupali Ganguly now, Tauba or Sumit. How can you even catch them? I can't even get them on the
What
phone
a good
to say
problem
hello.
to have.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm so happy for them. But it makes the producer's life practically impossible. So, Sarabhai ki to koi guarantee nahi. Look at this. You have traces of Atish.
हैप्पी फैमिली के 3 सीजन आप जरूर देखेंगे.
Inshallah, तुम्हारे मुंह में गुड़गी. But the point is that it is Atish driven.
Yeah.
We are there as vessels to pass those ideas on. But like Sarabhai and Khichdi, this show is also Atish driven. It's his zany humor, it's his wittiness, it's his crazy take on this crazy world of ours.
Acha, personally speaking, in your own happy families, what are the conditions that apply to ensure that it's a happy family, functional or dysfunctional?
Functional and open channels of communication. We talk to each other about everything. Not quite everything, of course, but mostly everything. And I find that eventually it has paid off.
Yeah.
It was difficult several times, but it has paid off. I think we trust each other.
For me, I think I always feel, and I told Atish this when I heard the script also for the first time, that I feel there is a little Pallavi in Ayesha.
Of course.
So in my real life also, you know,
I've seen that.
Yeah, so I see, for me, even though we are with certain members of our family absolutely open and, you know, honesty is there, we can say anything. But then we have the elders who do not understand that part. And when I try to explain it to my parents or any elder of the family, they will not understand the language that I'm trying to speak. And so I have to become Pallavi there automatically, because there is no other choice. I don't want to hurt them. I don't want my family to, you know, wobble or shake in any way. So considering all of that, whether it is, you know, your extended family or your cousins or, you know, in-laws or anyone, you do not want to shake the balance. That is very important for any one person of the family to understand that that balance cannot shake,
Ideally,
no matter what.
The whole family should understand that.
But that doesn't happen.
You know, it doesn't happen. Unfortunately, I'm looking ahead.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing much we can do about the people who have been brought up in a different style. वो तो अपना वैसा ही करेंगे. हम लोग अलग तरीके से बड़े हुए हैं, so we are behaving in different ways with the next generation.
So I think when we go into their shoes, things hopefully will be
better. I mean, at least more open.
Open, and you know, you need to communicate, you need to understand.
Yeah.
Also, communicating doesn't help completely. You have to understand also.
That's another thing. Hindustani tendency, bhakti karo. कोई एक विचार मिल जाए जिसकी बस भक्ति करो. वो जो बोलते हैं वो papa is always right. ये वाला जो mood है ना,
Yeah.
it's terrible, and it's much worse for the boys in the family. I've noticed that very much.
Yeah.
The men in the family suffer. Women are much smarter. Instinctively, we find our way around.
But
the
I'll tell
men
you-
get stuck with this load of bhakti. बहुत मुश्किल पड़ता है बेचारों को.
But I'll tell you, Sneha, I think Happy Family Conditions Apply is going to be a very, very, very welcome change for OTT also. Because very few shows like this are there. And I think with Prime Video taking this plunge and trying to, you know, bring forth this maybe so-called experiment for them, but I don't know, instinctively my gut says that this is going to be fabulous.
Yes, I've got my fingers crossed, of course, but I do feel that there's always a risk with comedy. It has to land.
Of course.
Unlike a straight story, comedy has to land, and your idea of comedy can be so different from my idea of comedy. सो ये बात जो है ना कि एक कॉमन ग्राउंड सबको मिला, अरे हाँ ये बात समझ में आई, मजा आया.
You've often talked about how comedy saved you.
Absolutely.
How do you say?
I was on my way to becoming a great tragic actress and thankfully idhar udhar happened and I was relieved of this weight of great actress. ये बनना है, अरे लेडी मकबेथ करेंगे, नहीं जी मजे करो पहले. And it gave me a chance to learn a skill. Acting, unfortunately not so much in our country, but really acting is very skill dependent. Good speech, good
Delivery.
Ability to deal with your body,
Right.
an expressive body, etc. All that makes a big difference as an actor. I had very few of those skills.
Really?
And I needed to learn them. And comedy gave me the chance to acquire those skills. So I'm very, very thankful, deeply grateful to Anand Mahindra, because he was the first person who thought that I was capable
Broke
of
the
doing
mold,
it.
yeah.
God bless him. But yes,
Yeah.
it really has helped hugely. And it has helped me greatly as a serious actor also. I don't focus on myself so much. I focus on what has to be done. That's the trouble with acting. You
It's a
become-
trap.
You
It is,
become
it is.
so full of yourself. You just start feeling that everything is about you. And comedy में वो कर ही नहीं सकते आप, because it's always you're playing off somebody.
Give and take है.
Making sure it lands.
Exactly, you're playing off somebody. You've got to time it. You've got to be part of the whole move.
Yeah.
So I think it's very, very wonderful.
And speaking of your happy family, I just feel like I want to be a fly on the wall when we have the finest actors literally that we have in the country. Nasiruddin Shah, Ratna Pathak, Supriya Pathak, Pankaj Kapoor. What are dinner table
And now we have Sana
conversations?
also.
And
Sana.
Yeah.
Not
But
to
what
mention my 3 children. Everyone's
Yes.
an actor.
are, so what are dinner table conversations like for you guys?
Acting mainly, or theatre, film, gossip, that kind of stuff. Same as everyone. But definitely very, very focused around the work we are doing.
Yeah.
In
That
my family,
inevitably
definitely
happens.
Yes, yes. And I know Supri says that about even her family. And when we are together, then usually it's other things also. But by and large, it's work related. And if work is fun, what else do you want?
Yeah. Yeah. What's an emotion that you struggle to play on screen? Is there something that makes you a little bit more
Laughter.
awkward?
Laughter, I found it very hard. I'm much more comfortable now. But to start with, laughing is extremely hard. It's a technical thing. Unlike, I can turn on the tears. I mean, I've got waterworks. Anytime you want prank, I can do like that. And I really believe that was all a Hindustani actress had to do. रोना है और सुंदर लगते हुए रोना है. आँख में टप 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 ऐसे करके आंसू गिरना चाहिए. Fortunately, comedy saved me from all that. And I found laughter very, very difficult. But I've got my way around it now.
What about you?
For me, earlier there are 2 things. Earlier I thought I could never do this crying business very easily without
Really?
glycerine and all that. Nobody can say that about me now because
You've done so much of it,
yeah,
Chari.
yeah. And then somehow I learned the technique of doing it. I don't know how it happened, but it just happened. And whenever, like even I think I would again give a lot of credit to Vijaya Mehta for this, because I was playing a rape victim on stage. To get tears on stage without any glycerine, every show, that was something that I think somewhere, that how you have to connect and all that. So I got through that. That's why Hush Hush became a little easier for
Yeah.
me. But one thing I can never do, I could never do is, bachao!
Can you do it?
She never had to do it. She never had to do it.
Thank God.
But I had to do it in practically every film.
With conviction.
With conviction. गुंडे आ रहे हैं घोड़े पे या वैसे या कुछ और पकड़ रहे हैं बचाओ. So that was something I would say, ये कैसे बोले? And I would at home, you know, my family would actually see me screaming, bachao, bachao. And my mother came in, what happened? So I said nothing. I was rehearsing, I have to do this tomorrow. I could never, and then I thought I was younger, तो अब नहीं समझ आया होगा या what करा तो फिर भी हमने बहुत किया. लेकिन आज भी मुझे कोई बोलेगा ना कि बचाओ मुझे, whatever the hero's name is, बचाओ रवि या whatever, बाप रे, I don't think I can do that. It just doesn't come from within.
Yeah.
That is something I find very
She's more likely to be bachawing Ravi than Ravi bachawing
I
Maya.
was going to say.
Yeah, she's
We
one
are not
tough girl.
dancers.
yeah, now maybe we'll have to just switch it on screen. 100%.
Ma'am, we're sitting on your 40th year in cinema. I'm just very curious to know what's the secret sauce that goes behind staying as passionate and professional over the course of time?
The fact that I had to do less work, the fact that I didn't have to do bachao too many times. I got more interesting work thanks to the theatre. I got something that gave me a chance to develop my mind. And I really feel that I heard this a lot when I was younger, that actors don't have to be intelligent. I disagree.
No, I don't.
I
don't
disagree
also.
entirely. I've heard actors don't need to be educated. I disagree entirely. Why? I don't know why they said that, but it's a stupid idea.
It's very stupid.
Because I think the more you understand about the world around you, the better you are as an actor. You don't have to have gone to college, but you can be self-educated now. You cannot experience everything, every emotion in the world. You cannot, but you may be asked to play it. I've never been raped, but if I'm asked to play a rape victim like she was, she's had to get it from somewhere, no?
Yeah.
So either you read about it, you talk to others about it, you read a novel about that, which gives you an insight. Some way you have to connect with that character you're playing. So for that purpose, actors need to be highly intelligent, I feel. And
the observations, the grasping. An
And your
unintelligent
understanding-
mind wouldn't be able to do that. I think.
understanding of the world as it
Exactly.
is,
Yeah.
of how
Observing
people
the
behave.
character. Yeah.
I think that's very necessary.
Yeah.
So I was definitely saved because I got time to develop my mind as well as my skills as an actor.
Is there a prize to being outspoken as a woman in cinema or a woman in general?
Always, like I have this thing also that I just speak my mind.
Yeah.
I don't care who's listening to me or what they're thinking of me. If I feel something, I will say it. At one point of time, I was tagged as the most controversial newcomer. Yeah, if you go back and you see all those old
magazine
covers with, Star and Style and all that, you'll see that most controversial newcomer with my pictures and all that. It was only because I was outspoken. It was only because I say things that I feel within me, and if I have to put my foot down on anything, I would do it. And initially when you're new, you basically
Don't know how to put it.
you don't know how to put it.
That's one of the things in our
Exactly.
happy families. Various people say things which are sometimes intelligent.
Correct, yeah.
And yet they are said in a way that's not hurtful. So that,
The tact.
except for Himlata, she
Yeah.
seems to say the first thing that comes into her head without too much,
Mincing of
Mi-
words
yes. Or being diplomatic.
twisting or diplomatic, yeah.
But everyone else is, and that really is the point I think that the show is trying to make. Happy families, yes, we must get the best of our families, and family is a very important institution in India. But it's not an institution which is sacrosanct.
Yeah.
It's not an institution that is perfect. It's an institution that needs change, like every institution.
Is there a prize to being outspoken?
Yeah, there is. But come on, who doesn't pay that price? Outspoken man also pays a price. It's not easy being outspoken, period, in our country. Because we are great conformists. We want to do what Papa told us.
Coming back. to
Yes,
Papa.
yes, it is that. Papa knows best. That is the mood in our country. And across everything, you can see it. Papa knows best. Don't question Papa. Do what Papa tells you. So, what I'm saying is कि वो अगर बदलना है हमको तो पहले फैमिली से बदलना पड़ेगा और वो फैमिली में बदलाव आएगा क्योंकि अभी यंग लोग नहीं हैं जैसे पहले के थे एक्सेप्टेंस उतना नहीं है so everyone has to be ready for this challenge, the new challenge of living together.
Absolutely. And finally, before I let you guys go, what's a piece of advice that you'd give your 20-year-old self, or perhaps an actress looking to break into films today, a 20-something
She
actor?
broke into films at 20, I didn't. So go on, tell us.
I broke into films much
Much
before,
earlier.
much
Much
earlier.
What do you wish you had known then?
I really wish. See, honestly, there are again two things. I sometimes, when I see these new people coming in with so much preparation and they already know everything, you know, and they are so focused and they come in as if they've done some 20 years of work, the whole, you know, body language, the attitude and everything. And I have observed that a lot of times a person who's never faced the camera, and if there is some senior actor trying to even, you know, sometimes we people are all in the habit of helping that, okay, fine, you know, this one.
She calls it helping, but not everyone thinks that.
Yeah, that's what I was just coming to.
Yes, I
and
know,
that's what I'm
because
coming to, that we tried doing that. I've seen this happening in front of me, and the person is like,
Who are
what are you trying to teach me? I mean, you? It's like, so sometimes I feel that confidence that they have today and everything, mind you, confidence we also had a lot, and everything was perfect for that time. I also like the way we were not prepared for all these things. Sometimes, you know, when people say, oh, you are very relatable, you have that girl next door feel and all of that. Probably because I wasn't so prepared and so manja hua, tarasha hua before entering, maybe that naturalness and that, you know, innocence was intact. But in today's times, I don't think that'll work. In today's times, you have to be prepared, you have to be more confident and more organized. In those times, we never walked in with a big team or managers and, you know, so many people around us, all of that.
That is one thing I
Now
wish we could
it's
dump.
really,
I really can't stand this.
yeah.
And what does it do except make you even more self-focused and self-absorbed and
The
involved?
size of your entourage sort of determines your star power also, right?
Apart from that,
I
what
mean,
does it do to your head? I've seen actors on a plane won't even ask for a cup of coffee. The coffee is brought by assistant. Assistant opens the cup. Actor takes sip, hands it back to assistant. What are you? A 3-month-old child? कि कब भी नहीं पकड़ सकते आप अपना हाथ में? ये
It's
इस
scary.
तरह का dependence
It is scary.
constantly. मेरा makeup. अरे कुछ और तो सोचो मेरे भाई और बहन कि you know, life is more than just this. I find that so dangerous.
Yeah.
So dangerous.
So I think that
and
way-
I've seen several good actors who have been affected adversely by this entourage business.
Is there a way to be outside of this, do you think?
We were, hello, when we entered the industry, we were not focused with all this. Of course, we had our staff, which you need for whatever
Hair and
you
makeup.
need. Hair and makeup also, you know.
You don't have
need it.
somebody like a bloody king taster कि
हाँ.
कौन सा खाना खा रहा है साहब उसको भी टेस्ट
Cooks.
करके
Cooks.
वर्कआउट
Specific
पूरा
cooks.
वर्कआउट की टीम जा रही है आपकी
Yeah.
आपका सारा जिम इक्विपमेंट जा रहा है
So, because
और
that
फिर आप करते क्या है परफॉर्मेंस आपका देखो इज दैट अ वैल्यूएबल पे ऑफ how much money is that film earning after all the gym equipment and all the
Caterers and-
caterers and chefs? Did the film make the money that was put into it? वो पहले देखो नहीं. So it's very silly. It has always been very silly, and I'm afraid it will continue to be very silly.
that's how it works. But earlier we didn't probably focus so much on all of that.
Yes.
But as times have changed, the focus has also changed. There are some really good things that have happened, but there are certain things that are actually out of the line, you know. I mean, it's really not required.
Silly.
And earlier also we used to have a women's staff, not for makeup and all, but for hair and, you know, because we didn't have the facilities like these vanities and all. We always
Yeah.
needed somebody who
You
will
have
help
to
us
hold the
change.
पर्दा
who help
behind
us,
the
yeah,
पर्दा, पर्दा पकड़ने
that
के लिए चादर ऐसे दो पकड़ के उसके अंदर change कर.
So that was needed. It was not something that you wanted to flaunt or you know. So I think because हम लोग ने वो सब किया है ना, so I at least personally can adjust without a lot of things because but you see newcomers or people who are relatively new, I'm not blaming everyone here, but आते ही this vanity कहाँ है मेरी? Where is my vanity and where is this? And I was shooting for another set where the artist just walked off because his vanity was not there, and we were waiting for almost 4 hours. So because he was asked to adjust the vanity with another actor, so I feel these are not really required.
Yeah. Finally, you leave me with wise words for someone just breaking into films. What can they learn from your
Focus
experience?
on your craft. That's the one thing that will stand you in good stead. After all the vanities and all the hairdressers and all have passed you by, as they will sooner or later, your skill is what will be your calling card. It has been so for so many actors, and it will continue to be for the future. So work on your skills.
Amazing. Thank you for always saying it as it is, really. And happy Women's Day. We
Happy
really
Women's
Thank
do
you.
need more
Happy
of you.
Women's Day.
And someday we will be at a time where we won't have to say Happy Women's Day. It'll be okay.
Happy day.
Happy day. We'll all be
Happy day.
Happy day and happy family.
But for
And
now,
happy-
it's happy family. Conditions apply.
Baba. Always.
Always conditions apply. Please watch it. Watch us on Prime Video.
Amazon Prime Video.
Amazon Prime Video. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And I can't wait to watch it, really.
Yes.
Thank you.
If you've enjoyed watching us on Spill the Tea with Sneha,
Please subscribe to Film Companion.